You're now trying the 2020 Kelby James Russell Cabernet Franc. This is the red version of the rosé that you might know from the same line. It's actually the same grapes, same pick date as the rosé, but it's a real chance to see what happens if the wine you know is a rosé and love as a rosé was actually left on the skins to ferment.
Yep. So it does go through a little bit of cold soaking before it gets, warmed up for its, spontaneous fermentation, which then, we ferment in bins at a relatively warm temp, probably 75 degrees, compared to the rosés, which are like 50. So big difference there with all the skins and stems. And really kind of celebrates a little bit more of like kind of the herbal savory side that is Cabernet Franc without being super green. And so when we're talking about kind of green, I think the terms that come to mind would be something like green bell pepper or tomato leaf and stuff in that regards. And this is going a little bit more of like kind of a nice sage and like kind of a thyme characteristic to it, which is, I think, indicative, or not indicative, but very part of what makes a Cabernet Franc. And so rather than try and hide that, we want to celebrate it.
We love working with Cabernet Franc and Cabernet Franc from the Nut Road Vineyard because it really wears the vintage on its sleeve. 2020 was a very ripe, very sunny vintage. And the rosé that came from this wine was quite dark in color. And as you see in the glass here, the Cabernet Franc itself is also quite dark for this style and for a relatively light handling. And it should be said, if you're trying this wine, you're one of the lucky ones because almost the entirety of it was purchased by the Norwegian monopoly. So if you're trying this, you either are very good at speaking Norwegian, which I'm not, so I won't attempt, or you are part of our tadpole pack or got your hands on this through some special friend.